Cool. I got it to work. Nice. Let me, hey.
Started some work on the project.
Okay, nice. I got OBS set up, so it should work now. Yeah.
Nice.
So I think that's the only problem, but I think if you have just 5 minutes, we can set it up. Yeah, I think we could start at like 1:05 just to see one time.
Okay. We'll wait for a couple more minutes now.
And I really want
Huh?
I really want Dawson's iPad. So instead of us using this.
Yeah. I mean, it won't be too distracting too. Sliding, showing different things. Does anyone know if there's like a way to mute all of the notifications on Discord?
It's a good question. I actually don't know. I did it every manually. But like, I mean, do you have that many channels?
No. Probably just
Yeah.
Yeah, you can mute them temporarily.
That's kind of what I started. Yeah, that's what I did. Just mute every server. Okay. I mean, we have some like icebreakers and stuff. So in the beginning, so it's not like crucial that everyone's here in the beginning. So I think we'll just go ahead and get started. Before we begin the slides, is there anyone who's here for the first time, either on Discord or in person? Okay. If not, then yeah, we can start the slides.
All right.
Yeah, welcome to our third meeting after the info session, October 8th. Yeah, so a quick icebreaker. Is there anyone who would like to share their favorite food or their favorite restaurant that they like to go to? One restaurant that I personally really like is it's actually really close by. So if you come to in-person classes, then it should be easy for you. Tostadas, I really like. The one on it's right next to grocery outlet. They sell really good birria, which is soup. It's like tacos with soup. So you get to dip the taco in the soup, and yeah, it's delicious. It's a really nice flavor.
I can go next. One of my favorite restaurants, which is where, at least near where I live, in South San Jose, It's called Tacos a la Bria. They make really, really good burritos. They also have lots of other stuff, but I really enjoy getting that whenever I have people visiting.
Nice. 2 tacos / burritos.
That was gonna be mine.
Oh yeah.
No, the Cali Spartan. Right
Oh, Cali Spartan's good too.
Here. Yeah, I just tried it for the first time like last week. It was good tacos.
Yeah. There's actually a pupusa truck close to that too. They open really late. They on Tuesdays I think they have like 150 pupusas. Oh my gosh, so good, so good. I have a lot, but yeah, that's the one that's close by, so people can always try it. Anyone else? Dimitri, you want to share a favorite food?
Yeah, sure.
I sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Because I'm Taiwanese, so I prefer the Taiwanese food and also Japanese food. And about the restaurant, I would recommend it would be Red Hot Wok. I think
Oh,
there's
wow.
the name. Anyone have been there before?
No, I haven't.
I think it's in Cupertino. I
Okay.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of
Cupertino
food?
have a lot of good food.
What kind of food do they like? What kind of food? Like, what's popular at that restaurant?
Popular?
Mm-hmm.
You mean on the menu?
Yeah.
I read it in Mandarin, so I don't know the English actually. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
But
What do
most
you?
of the food there is good. Yeah.
What do you like? Is there any dish that you like in particular?
Particular one, I think is I don't know English.
Oh, okay.
Preserved egg.
Preserved egg. Wow, interesting. Okay. Maybe next
Yeah.
time.
I don't know.
Yeah, I gotta check it out. I gotta check it out. Yeah.
Preserved egg?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I have a friend who loves.
I
I have a friend who loves hot pot. So yeah, we like to go get hot pot all the time with all of our friends.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I love food cooked in the wok too. So definitely gotta try it out. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, Dimitri, did you wanna share?
Yeah, that is very simple. So it's rare ribeye steak.
Oh, rare.
Rare, yeah.
Okay.
And some salt. That's it.
When you say rare, you mean it's cooked, but it's like below
I think
medium
it's
rare.
like 2 minutes.
Okay.
each side.
Wow. So it's like red.
It's like red, it's bloody.
Nice. I prefer medium rare myself. I have to try rare more. I don't think I've really used them.
You know, it gets used to it.
Okay, yeah, I think we can move on. So yeah, the first one is we raised over $3,000 for our workstation this past weekend, thanks to everyone who signed up and everyone who attended. I know a few people couldn't make it because of circumstances, but that's totally fine. We really appreciate you, making that commitment to try to come. But of course, you know, COVID and all these other circumstances, it's totally understandable. So I'm honestly really, really happy that we got this. This combined with our AS funding and our College of Engineering grants, we should be able to get something really, really special. Like 3250 is already like last semester that was like already like our goal for like a high-end workstation. So we're looking for something even more ambitious this semester now because we have this and then on top of that other stuff in the works for money. So yeah, I think whatever workstation we get, we should be able to be more than happy with it if you're gonna wanting to use it for your machine learning project. And it's gonna be great because it's easy to access as well. Yeah, so announcements. Again, today's gonna be the final day. I brought up last week if there's anyone who has any companies that they're interested in coming to like have a workshop or some sort of hackathon, feel free to bring it up. I think someone mentioned, I think Luke mentioned Spotify and Sleep Number. So that's going to be some of the other companies that we forwarded. Some of them that we told the Career Center to reach out to include Google, DeepMind, Waymo, just a bunch of the really common machine learning companies. And I think we also got a couple of tech startups that Gotham recommended. So I think, yeah, hello. Okay. Yeah, so there's also a few tech startups.
Yeah, sure. Give you the. Sure. I was just waiting for a member.
Okay, great. So yeah, thank you for joining. Um, are you all new or have you been here before? You're all new. Great. Could you actually introduce yourselves? If you don't mind.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm Shauna. This is my first year at SJSU.
Oh, great. Nice.
And I'm currently pursuing Master of Science in Data Analytics.
Okay.
And yeah, just looking forward to doing something. Anything else?
She was interested in the YouTube project.
Oh, that's right. Okay, okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ita, and this is my first semester. I am a data science major.
Are you a master's or?
Yeah,
Okay.
and nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you. Actually, could you say like maybe like one interest outside of academics you want to share?
Oh, I love hiking.
Hiking.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's my med button.
Oh, that's great. Awesome. Awesome. How about you?
I like playing volleyball.
Volleyball. Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, hey everyone, I'm Dennis. I'm a first year graduate student from engineering management, so this is kind of a new experience for me, although I'm a little bit self-taught in Python and IT programming.
Sorry, you said IoT programming?
Yeah,
Like Internet of Things?
um, yeah, so
Oh, okay.
central programming and also programming, so
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Thank you for three of you for coming in today. It's awesome to see more members. But yeah, so basically what we would quickly announce, actually, could you go back to the old slides? Just one second. Yeah, so we recently had a football game, and we volunteered, and what basically happened is we get $1,000 for signing up, and we got $250 per member, so we had 9 members show up, so we raised over $32.50 for, basically all that money is going to go towards us building a workstation. So basically a big, really powerful PC that we could train our machine learning models on when we build our projects. So, yeah, very excited. 3,500 was our max goal last semester, but we're getting more funding from AS and College of Engineering, hopefully. So I think that'll be really, really good. We'll be able to get a great workstation. So yeah, so what I mentioned before is one of the things that we do is we have a collaboration with SOPP, or the Career Center, to basically have them reach out to companies that we might be interested in and to come in to organize an event together. So some of the companies that we've asked them to reach out to include Google, DeepMind, Waymo, a bunch of startups like Tesla, and then I think one of our members suggested Spotify and Sleep Number. So do any of you have any companies that you might be personally interested in that you might want the Career Center to reach out to? I know Gotham made a bunch of great suggestions in the general chat. So.
Pixel, Disney,
Okay. Can you spell out the names so I can?
Disney and Pixar.
Oh, Disney and Pixar. Oh wow, that's cool. Okay, let's do that. Yeah, I think the Career Center actually does have a lot of connections with them because our animation program is really strong here. So there's like already a really strong pipeline to those companies. So that'd be really interesting to see if we could look at a machine learning specific concept. Disney and Pixar. Okay, thank you. Anyone else? I'm gonna send this email out like right after the meeting. So this is like our last chance. We got a great.
Like, give me a day.
Yeah, I can give you a date. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, so the next one, Glenn.
Yeah, so our friends at SC are going to have hackathon in basically what that's 15th, 17th.
Next weekend.
Yeah, they're basically I encourage you to learn more about that. We'll just post a link to that hackathon on the announcements. Basically, that'll be a coding challenge related to a coding for SJSU for like smart cities. Uh, yeah, it should be a lot of fun. It sounds that
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, actually, it's probably the biggest student organization. I don't know compared to IEEE, but they're probably the biggest organization on campus. So it'd be great for our members to collaborate with them. And I think there's a natural crossover between us. So if we're interested in them, they might also be interested in our club. So it'd be great to just get more collaboration between like inter organizational, because when we have like events that we want to plan at the career center, they think that more organizations that work together, the more likely it is for more companies to be interested in, because we are like a smaller group, so sometimes those companies might not be as eager to reach a smaller audience. So if we collaborate with someone like SEE, it makes life a lot easier for us. The next thing I kind of want to talk about is a few like logistical things. So one thing that we're going to try to test this week is basically something like I'll call it a to-do list. For it's going to be actually it's going to be on the Discord pin messages on the project chat. So would you be able to share the Discord? Actually? Yeah, Discord. And then, so the pin messages are shown up in that pin thing over there. I don't know if you can see the red color thing. So every Discord is going to have that, but specifically for the project section, this is going to be for all the project members that we have. We're going to create, actually what I might do is I might turn this into a Google Doc. This is not something that's required for everyone, but this is something that we're testing out this semester, just to get an idea of how many people would be able to do this on their own if we assign it. So you can see here, for example, some of them are really straightforward. Like, for example, we have one for everyone, right? Actually, just to make sure we share this. So like, for example, I had to clear that some are for everyone, right? So some are really simple, like we're planning a social event in 2 weeks. I'll go more into that in detail later. But if anyone has any idea what would be a cool activity, please bring it up. Please bring it up for next meeting. So we kind of prepare you for some of the stuff some ideas. Also, like, please think of any companies. So these are actually stuff that I posted in the announcements last week, but we're gonna go over now. And then, some of the ones that are specific to project members are familiarize yourself with ZenHub or Agile Scrum project management, and I give you links for you to follow and just kind of, or like give you options to learn on your own. And what I might do is I might turn this into a Google Doc and basically have everyone's name listed, so that to verify that you have gone through it, you can just erase your name off of it. So we know that, oh, this person looked at the tasks. But the reason why we're doing this is, first, we just want to test out some new things this semester. One of them being, like, if people start doing this regularly, that will help when they start getting assigned tasks on their own project teams, so that they kind of have an idea. Secondly, we want to have more people check our Discord in general, because of the fact that we're hybrid, a lot of us are going to be doing cross collaboration, people who come in person as well as online. And Discord is going to be our primary means of communication. So it's really important that everyone check your Discord. And one thing that we also suggest everybody to do is make sure you turn on push notifications on your phone. If you don't know how to do that for iPhone, it's just like you go under settings, notifications, and that there's a specifically for Discord, you just say enable push notifications. I know some people get a ton of notifications on Discord, so that's why some people mute it. But we think it's really important. So if you have to, I think what Vlad did just in the beginning of this meeting was he basically muted every server besides ML and SJSU, so that you don't get spammed with notifications. So I'd highly recommend everyone who hasn't done that yet do that. It really helps, especially when someone adds you. You're gonna immediately get it on your phone, so you'll be able to see that immediately. But we're gonna turn this into a Google Doc. And I'll post a new to-do list this weekend, so that you guys get a good head start. And again, it's not required. We just want to get an idea of how many members are going to do it. If most members do it, then it looks really good for us, and we can continue to do it. If very few members erase their names off the list, then we're like, okay, well, it's not really working, so maybe we should try something else. This is something to try. And then yeah, project members. Again, I still don't have everyone's information. So what I think I'll do this meeting is when we break up into the project groups, we will I will go over each person to try to get their info, send their info to me on Discord. Again, if you're not comfortable with having all your info displayed on our website, that's totally fine. Just let me know, and we won't display all of it. I know some people might not be comfortable with that, but it looks really good for our club because we have all these members that we list as project members, and it looks good for you because a lot of companies actually do check out our website. Like they email us because they saw our website and they're interested in like offering us opportunities and other things like that. So having your name listed on the website is actually really helpful. And we also give you like your GitHub and LinkedIn links, like as little bubbles there. So really, it would really be helpful for you to put that. And finally, yeah, we're organizing a social next week. We're not sure when. We're thinking either right after this meeting, the in-person meeting, or outside of that, depending on people's interests. So any ideas people might have? Some of the ideas we had ranged, we're going to vote at the end, but some of the ideas we had was hiking. So hiking, that'll probably be not right after the meeting because I don't know if an afternoon hike. I mean, if we could, but usually I think it's like a weekend kind of activity, hiking. And then other ideas was I think someone said we could maybe go to like a nearby boba shop and like play some board games. You know, that'd be cool. Another one was like more ambitious was like we could maybe like go and watch a movie or something, like a new movie. You know, we figure out carpool. Like it would probably be like after this meeting, but we would get everyone in carpool, organizing carpools, and then we'd be able to yeah, go watch something. Does anyone else have any cool ideas we could have for social? I'll give everyone like a few seconds.
Bowling alley?
Oh, bowling. Yeah, bowling's a great idea. Yeah, let me add that.
Yes, good.
Bowling would be
Yeah,
great.
that one works nicely because we have a bowling alley. Right.
There's also pool tables too, I think. Yeah, next to the bowling. Hiking's already covered, so. Okay, yeah, I'll update that right now actually on the form, because the next slide, that's going to transition into our next slide, which is the actual Google form. Just give me a second before you click on it. I'm going to update. I'm going to add one more event for bowling. Yeah. Post. Let me update that Google form really quickly.
I also sent it in general.
Perfect.
Or,
I still don't fill it out yet. I still make sure to refresh because I still have to add bowling as one of the options. Internet's really slow right now for some reason. Dang, why is it so slow? Okay, there we go. Yeah, don't fill it out yet. I'm gonna add option 4. I guess option 4 was why isn't it working?
it's just not letting you edit the option.
It's just really slow. I think it's because maybe everyone's opening it up right now at once. Let me see. Or my internet's probably just slow. Okay, maybe like an other. Okay, cool. Yeah, it should be good now. So feel free to vote. If you see option 4, just vote that. Option 4 is bowling. But it should show up as bowling. So the options are watch a movie, which is carpooling after the club meeting. We could get boba, play board games nearby school after the club meeting. so we could walk. Hiking, probably going to be outside of club meeting hours, so we'll probably have to do it like on a weekend. I don't know, Gotham, what do you think? Do you think we can hike right after a club meeting?
No way.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I got it. And then bowling. Bowling's fun. Or other, if anyone has any other ideas. Maybe someone has a great idea that they've come up with, and we're all going to say, just take some time to fill it out. Actually, the form also has other things you want to know, like feedback about the trial project. If you haven't finished the trial project, you don't need to complete all of that stuff. There's also, I think, some feedback about the volunteering event, like if you volunteered, if you haven't, or if you have, are you interested in doing another volunteer event? And it's all anonymous, so if you have really nasty feedback from us about our trial project process, feel free to go ham. Like, man, this whole process sucked. I wish we got rid of it. Feel free to say that. Yeah. One thing we're trying to address is trying to make it more so that people collaborate, because it did seem like this semester most people kind of just solved it on their own, and there wasn't that much communication. So I think one of the ideas we talked about was one of the things that we came up with was next semester we'll try to group trial project groups based on activity. So if too many people are inactive after a certain amount of time, we'll move them into the inactive trial project group, and the people who are trying to get help, try to group them with other people who are active on this group. So those are just some of the ideas that we kind of came up with for next semester.
Ideally, it's like practice of networking, right?
Yeah.
You're just going to network with, recruiters, but this is a good platform to like practice or like get exposed to networking, what's in groups, and how do you communicate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think another thing we could do is like next semester we'll probably also spend some time to get the trial project groups to get to know each other first before they contact each other, because I think when we grouped them, the members didn't really know each other. So I think getting some time to get to know everyone, in person and virtual, will help with them being more comfortable contacting each other for help. But if you guys have any other ideas, or any of you have any other ideas, feel free to. Okay, so while we're filling that out, can we please try to make sure please fill that out. Yeah, so the agenda this week is going to be very similar to last week. We're going to just go over any final project proposals if anyone has any, and then we'll have everyone basically spend some time to ask any questions they might have about the different project groups with the project leads. One of our project leads is actually not here today, Luke. So I guess I'll just be there for that project specifically to help answer any questions. I don't know how much of a help I would be because I'm not him, but yeah, if anyone's still interested in his was the Spotify, I think algorithm to like group Spotify songs based on the categories. So like you take a jazz category or this, so just be like a simple classification project. Pretty straightforward, I think. If you're looking for something more beginner friendly, I think that would be a great option. And yeah, after that, please add your name to the project that you're specifically interested in, and then we're gonna show you the Google sheet of all the projects. And so if you're interested, just add your name to the end, and then after that, we'll spend some time on next steps, like what you should be doing as a project group. So the things that we'll talk about is like designing your project architecture. This is kind of stuff that you probably should have done already when you came up with project proposal because it was in the project management document. And then, we'll go over some examples. Yeah, so does anyone have any final project proposals? I know someone had a certain idea, but I don't know. I don't think he's here today. Anyone have any final project proposals? Wait, was it posted to Google Sheet?
I'm saying.
No, I don't think it's a good idea. So yeah, one of us. Yeah, I don't want to break it. Okay, yeah, no one has any. That's great actually because yeah, I was hoping we wouldn't spend too much time on this. So, um, are there any project members that didn't come last week and didn't understand the different projects that were currently active? Yeah, I know you three in the back are here for the first time. So I'll help all three of you out while this is going on. So. Um, Okay, yeah, well, looks like we do actually already have quite a few number of people who signed up. That's great. Looks like quite a few people on Object Nav. Yeah, wow, pretty well organized. Actually, I wonder, is that everybody? Is it anybody who didn't put their name on the Google Sheet yet? Can someone share the link and post it too?
All the people online have
Okay.
signed up.
Is there anyone here who hasn't signed up for, I know besides you three in the back, who hasn't signed up for a project group yet? Okay, yeah, perfect then. I guess we don't need to worry about that then. We probably don't even need to go into like breakdown. Probably don't even need to spend time having people ask questions about the different project groups because it looks like everyone's already made a decision. So yeah, let's just move on then to the next one. So again, some of the to-dos was like just familiarize yourself with GitHub. So if you haven't yet, please create your GitHub account and familiarize with Zenhub. So yeah, this was, we could skip this I think because we already finished that. Another thing to keep in mind is historically, basically all of our project teams have set a separate time to meet outside of club meeting hours, just because I think once a week isn't that often. If you guys, if your project team you think is really good at doing all your tasks virtually, like on your own, and they're really good at delegating and they're really good at doing the tasks on their own, then it might not be necessary. But what we found is most project teams usually have a second meeting. So this is a really good resource when to meet. Basically, when you do that, you basically just I think. Yeah, you just set like you could do like instead of specific dates, I think you do like weekly days of the week, and then you could just say, hey, among like let's say among these 4 days, or you could do all 7 days, what time works for you, right? And then you can maybe
Yeah, this is also just very useful for like if you are working in classes where you're working on final project or something. Like these are quite useful.
So what this does is you don't even need to sign in. You can actually just vote without that, and then you can just like click on, or maybe you just, but yeah. So you just like select which parts of the day are available. So this depends on the project lead, of course, right? If the project lead is available the entire week, then you can just say show all 7 days and then say I'm available all day. But then your individual group members will be able to select which parts of the day they're available. And what happens is you see like there's like 1 out of 1 available or 1 out of 1 not available. So you can choose based on the coloring which time has the most people available. So hopefully you find a time where it'll be completely green, which means all members are available. Does anyone have any questions? I know it looks kind of confusing, but it's actually pretty straightforward once you do it. You just highlight the time that you're personally available, and then it'll show everyone's availability. So yeah, project leads, please make this link, and then you just share that specific link, whentomeet.com, and then if you post that link, then they'll get it, and then they can list their own availability.
I can post in general.
Or maybe like in the website under the project management page.
Oh, yeah,
you can
yeah.
put it like management groups and just put the link and also description so that it's very easier for people to navigate.
Oh wow, looks like someone shared Looks like someone shares companies too. Yeah, you're not going to use this specific link, just so you know, your project leads are going to create your own eventually and then share that in your project. Yeah.
I have a question. How do you organize these projects? So do you approve projects based on their proposals?
So basically, we approve projects if anyone can propose a project. It's just and like doesn't matter your experience level. The thing is, all of our project members do have like a requirement they need to fill out. They needed to either have completed. I can explain more in detail after, but all of our current members who are project members needed to either have completed a trial project or have completed a machine learning course or have equivalent machine learning project experience on so you can show on GitHub or whatever. So what we think is that we trust all of our project members to, if they come up with a project proposal, that they'd be able to follow up on it. But we also take a look at the project proposal to see like any feedback. And then if they're new, we also, all the officers here, me, Latham, Vlad, and Jacob, would be able to help the project leads if they feel like, oh, I'm kind of scared to propose because it's my first time having a project team working together on it. So yeah, don't feel afraid to make a project proposal, because if it's a proposal, worst case, we'll just give you suggestions for you to change it, to make it more manageable maybe, and other stuff like that. So yeah, anyone can come up with a project proposal. But all of our members who are in project groups or teams do have to be a project member to join the specific projects. We do allow it.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do see somebody new on Discord. Accelerate, I think. If
Yeah.
you could rename yourself or just introduce yourself.
So we'll be able to help. Okay. So yeah, let's move on to the next. So yeah, so here's an example of what the project lead should look at, but this could be a collaborative activity as well between all your different project groups. So designing an architecture is really important because it'll help you give an idea of what the project should look like, and it'll also help you design the general tasks that you want to delegate eventually. So a typical machine learning project would probably have, this is like the really, really high level outlook at it, right? So there's going to be the data layer, how you can collect your data. Most of you are probably not going to collect data yourself. You're probably going to just find data set on the internet. And that's by far the easiest thing to do. Really, really convenient. Unless you're going to do like hardware, but that's going to be really complicated. And then even data storage, that's probably going to be done through AWS cloud, right? You're not going to actually have a data device to store it in, or you could just use your laptop, right? The amount of data you're going to use is probably like the hardware is probably not going to be a concern. Or if it is, you can just use the cloud. If you're a student, you'll get, I think you get free cloud credits, so you can use that. This is the part I think that most people are going to be doing, the actual data processing and analytics, right? So you're going to analyze the data, you're going to get the data and analyze it to either build a neural network, or if you're doing traditional machine learning, just give specific insights, right? Data engineering, just processing it. And then the visualization is also something that's optional, right? If your project has a component that wants to show the results of that data, so for example, I think Dimitri is doing like the clock age. So you want to show something, a way for you to visualize what your clock age would be. So that would be like some sort of dashboard or app or whatever. Again, that doesn't need to be the main focus, because our main focus is this, right? The big data processing and analytics layer. So that's going to be the one that you mostly work on. But if you have other components that you want to take a look at, especially the data storage, if your project's more ambitious, you'll have to look at the cloud stuff as well. So I'll give you an example of what a project. And I would just recommend all of you to design something like this, even if it doesn't seem difficult. This is the high level. So this is what you start off with, and you get more detailed, right? So an example would be like this. So this is, for example, I think it's like a healthcare example. So basically, the data layer is they collect the electronic health records, right, from I guess when they visit the doctor. And then there's a data analytics layer, right? And they store that layer. So this will be like a hardware component, but the hardware component we don't need to worry about. Again, just put it on the cloud. Actually, well, you should be concerned about it if you find yourself that you do need to use the cloud. then you need to know, we recommend using AWS, Amazon Web Services for the cloud. I highly recommend that. Um, and that would involve a lot of specific things that you need to learn, but it's not as, we'll go over that. We'll give you another example of that. And then the visualization layer, dashboards, all that stuff, the prediction, right, predicting the age, that would be another part that you want to design. But most of us will probably be doing this, analytics layer. Yeah, so here's a more specific example, even more specific example. So this is this might be familiar to some of you, especially project leads. This was the design that was shown in our project management document. So you can see here, this idea is that here's the IoT theme camera, AWS IoT core that connects it to the Amazon Web Services. But I'm sure like a lot of you are like, I have no clue what any of these modules mean, but that's not a concern. Like that's fine. I mean, I think like almost all of us don't really know everything here, but the idea is this gives you a reference of what to do, right? So like for example, if you are looking to use AWS, what I'd recommend is to take a look at each one and like try to find like a 1 or 2 sentence summary of what it really does, because the details you can come over later, right? The details are what you're going to work out when you delegate your tasks. But if you can explain to everyone the big picture architecture, like the AWS IoT core, what's the big summary of it? That's going to connect your IoT device to the Amazon Web Services, right? That's a 2-sentence summary, and everyone can understand that, right? What does Amazon S3 do? That helps you, have the data stored into the cloud. So just really quick summaries that you can help start off first when you design the high level, and then that'll help you delegate tasks. Like for example, let's say Dimitri wants to assign someone to work on the Amazon S3 part of it. Then then the person's like, oh, I know what that means. I know I'm supposed to work on this specific aspect of the project. So I think there's one more example. So this is the one. This is just a quick one I came up with for the. Again, mine's not an actual project, but if I did come up with a project, this would be the architecture, right? So my data layer is I would be actually using hardware sensors, right? So I'd be detecting the sound and the vibration from whatever machine that the predicted maintenance device would be checking on, and then those analog signals would go into an FPGA, and then FPGA would basically connect. If there's because there's a lot of data, it would connect through the AWS IoT core, and then it'll go to AWS Cloud. The AWS Cloud data would be used for analytics. So I've used Python and potentially Verilog, and then at the end I'll visualize it saying if there's something wrong with the device, then you give like a push notification, and they know that there's something wrong with the machine. So this is something this is a tool that I just quickly came up with on draw.io. So if you don't need to actually come up with like a fancy diagram like this. You can just draw something, right, with your team and then share that. And yeah, I think coming up with something like this will be really straightforward, because in that case, if I had a team, I could just assign, okay, so the person who's in charge, so first week, I want to have someone who's in charge of figuring out the API for the pink FPGA. So I want you to help look into that and help explain to the team in our next team meeting what that means, right? I also want to have another person be more familiar with the AWS cloud part. So I want someone to be able to explain to me how we're going to use S3 and the MongoDB to be able to how we can use those two to do it. And the other one maybe, I guess go into like what Verilog implementation that we want to do for our actual FPGA hardware, blah blah blah. So yeah, so this gives an idea of once you design that big picture, it's a lot easier to kind of get an idea, and like it's for everyone, right? Because you as a project lead might have a really good idea of what you want to do, but then your team wouldn't necessarily know, right? So let's say you already know this in your head. This visualizes it and helps explain to your team what the heck you're designing, right? So yeah, I think you can see the difference between the last slide. So the last slide kind of, it's better because it gives you like an order of things, right? The data goes here and then eventually to the dashboard. Mine doesn't really have that because I didn't spend that much time on it. But I think what you do is you initially have a simple design like the beginning, right? The four layers, and then you start expanding on it. You start drawing those arrows to see where the data goes, and what you do with the data, and what that data transforms into, like predictions. So yeah, that's basically it. I think it's something that you can work out with your team too, so your team kind of gets an idea of what your project would look like. And again, just take a look at each definition. So yeah, I think now, does anyone have any questions, or any of the officers want to have something to add? Okay, no one has any questions. Okay. Also, people who are still completing the trial project, let us know. I think everyone in the virtual are project members, so that's good. I think what we can do is each project group, can you join your respective